When you come in here, the rules of the game are different. What you can't do is talk over me. Now, that's what you can't do. I think this is about your relationship. I just thought it was sex. Because it only gets worse for you. Act like you already know what you already know. This ain't new information to you. It's new information to me. This is why I got up this morning.
Today on Judge Dad.
Everything was going along fine, and it's been going along fine for a long time until this man, the hotel owner, I stayed at his hotel one night and he totally ruined my life.
He's actually one of my regular customers. This was not the first time.
My husband had left his bag where he had spent the night with a young woman.
What you weren't careful on is being deceitful, which is probably something to say that you're not good at being deceitful.
Court is in session. Dr. Sean McMillan presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Plaintiff Burton Conway is suing defendant Charles Bailey in the amount of $5,000 for intentionally ruining his 20-year marriage. Well, there's always that. Mr. Conway, tell me why we're here.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm very upset. I had a dream life just a few months ago. I had a great job. I had a great family. I had a good marriage. I'll be honest with you. I had a great girlfriend, and I know it's going to come out anyway, so I might as well put it out there. And everything was going along fine, and it's been going along fine for a long time until this man, the hotel owner, I stayed at his hotel one night, and he totally ruined my life. And now I'm involved in a divorce. I'm kicked out of my beautiful home. I have trouble seeing my kids when I want to. Everything is put into play. I don't have my fancy sports car anymore, and I may lose my club. And it's all because this man, if I could sue him for more than $5,000, believe me, I would, but that's the limit to what I can sue him for. So I'm hoping to at least get some justice here today, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. This is already starting out to be epic because you've told me you have a wife and a girlfriend. Tell me.
That's correct. I'm going to be honest about that.
Mr. Conway, just simmer down, as they say in Jamaica. Tell me how he ruined your life.
Okay, so I checked into his motel with a friend, and that was all fine, although I would say he was very rude to my friend. When I got there, he said,
who is
just
this
you
friend?
and your grandmother.
Tell me who the friend is, and be specific. Who's the friend?
This is my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend. So let's call her that. It's your girlfriend. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but I don't think that's really relevant. The fact is, I came into his motel and he was very.
Mr. Conway, I will decide what's relevant in my courtroom.
Okay, sorry, Your Honor. So I come in, I check in, and he makes some snide remark like, "Just you and your granddaughter." So already I see he's out for me something. And then I know he's made reference like to my car before, like he's jealous of my car. So when I stay at his hotel, I think everything's fine. Then all of a sudden, I find out he has called my wife. I left my cell phone number at the desk when I checked in. He tracked down my home phone. He called my wife. He told her what was going on. He's exposed my situation, my girlfriend. Now I go home. My wife has kicked me out of the house. She blows up. She's filed for divorce. I have trouble seeing my kids. And none of that would have happened, Your Honor, if this man didn't involve himself in my affairs, which he shouldn't have done.
Let me ask you this. What happened, sir? How did you get embroiled in all of this?
Your Honor, the plaintiff he is not really being forthcoming. He's actually one of my regular customers. This was not the first time he's checked into my hotel, and it isn't just one girlfriend, it's several. And he is correct in that this young lady that he came to visit that one day was a little younger than his normal escorts or companions. Sorry, I might have had a slip in a word there, but yes, I was very familiar with him, and he ended up leaving his DOP kit in the room, and I ended up calling the number that he left on the contact form, and instead of him answering it, a female answered the phone, and it turned out, much to my surprise and embarrassment in a uncomfortable situation, it was his wife. And,
okay, Mr. Bailey, let me ask a few questions, because I think I got a good lay of the land. I appreciate both you and Mr. Conway giving me in such graphic terms what's going on here. Mr. Bailey, let me ask you this. The number that he left was the number to where? To who?
The number he left was the number that he wrote down on the contact.
Was it his cell phone number? Do you know? Was it his home number or his cell phone number, or do you even know?
By deduction, I assume it was his home phone number, because it ended up his wife answering it, which kind of leads me to believe that he may or may not have been had all his faculties that day, and might have just.
Here's my question, Mr. Bailey. My question is this is a very important question for this case. You called the number he left.
Yes.
But you did not investigate and find another number other than the number that he left. Is that right?
Absolutely, Your Honor. I've been in this business over 30 years. I see this kind of thing all the time. If my customers are having an affair or having their indiscretions, I've seen it, and I've also seen them cover their tracks. And clearly,
Mr. Bailey, I just need you to answer my question, sir. Yes or no? You called the number he left, or did you investigate and find another number and call that?
I called the number that he left.
Okay.
I did not investigate and find additional numbers so I could track him down.
Okay, I need some more information. Apparently, Elizabeth is here. Now, Elizabeth is a witness for who?
Me.
For you. Okay, Miss Elizabeth, could you come out right now? Thank you so much. Miss Elizabeth, you are connected. You're here for Mr. Bailey, but you are connected to Mr. Conway how?
I'm Mr. Conway's soon-to-be ex-wife.
Okay.
Your Honor. So
you are the wife in question. Here's before you tell me a little bit about what's going on between the two of you, the number that you were called at was a number to your home or to a cell phone?
It was to our house.
To your house.
Honor.
Is that a listed number? Can anybody just find that number?
No, sir.
It's not a listed number.
Not a listed number.
So you would have to be, FBI, CIA, or something like that to get your home number, or you would have to have the number because somebody gave it to you. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, that's helpful. But the last thing that you want is for me to be so completely turned off by you that I have within me the wherewithal to decide you're completely capable of being absolutely ruinous to your own life. So, Miss Elizabeth, tell me what's going on, because I have here, you're here as a witness, not for your husband, but you're here as a witness for the man your husband is suing. Why are you on the side of the defendant today?
Well, Your Honor, I get this phone call asking for Bert, and I simply said he wasn't available, and may I take a message? And this is when I learned that my husband had been at the hotel and had left a bag with his toiletries and his medication. It had been some days since his stay there.
Now, Miss Conway, this is very important. Hold on one second. I'm gonna let you pick it up, so remember where you leave off.
Yes.
But when Mr. Bailey contacted you, all he talked to you about was that the bag had been left. Is that right?
That the bag had been left and there was medication in it.
Right.
And the owner had not come back to collect.
Hold on.
Yes.
No, you're doing fine. I just like to be precise. And so he did not disclose any of your husband's extramarital activities at all. He just mentioned the bag, the medicine, and that it had been left. That's it, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Got it. Okay, that's going to be helpful later on. Miss Elizabeth, please keep going. So no, let me interject and ask the most relevant question that we have today, at least thus far. How did you find out this was about more than just a bag, some medicine, and something being left in a hotel? How did you find out that he had been cheating on you?
I went to go collect this bag. I was not aware that my husband had been anywhere but a business trip that was supposedly out of town. So to get a call from a hotel that's within driving distance and to go get this bag, and it has Viagra and condoms in the bag and other things, lubrication, that was quite a surprise. So I questioned Mr. Bailey, who had made the phone call to let me know he was concerned about this medication, that it might be something vital to my husband's health.
Mm-hmm. So I'm coming, Mr. Conway. You're next, I promise. But Mrs. Conway, you thought to yourself, looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, must be a duck.
Quacks like a duck, yes.
Yes. Mr. Conway, you're going to have to explain to me how Mr. Bailey ruined your life. It sounds like you were a very great contributing factor to the ruining of your own life. Sounds like you just weren't careful.
Your Honor, I beg to differ, and let me explain a few things. I have been careful. I've been careful for many years. And again, I'm honest about that because my marriage is not on trial here, not whether I've been a bad person or unfaithful to my wife, okay, that's for another day, another court or whatever. What's at stake here
Mr. Conway, Mr. Conway, you have no idea how much you're hurting your case by telling me what I need to decide what you've come here to. No, not while I'm talking. You don't presume to be able to tell me what I need to adjudicate this case. Your smugness, your effete disposition is hurting not only your marriage, your character, it's gonna hurt your case. Because you don't want me to have a negative interaction with you in this moment before I've decided what this should be. My mind is completely open. I don't know what's going on here. But the last thing that you want is for me to be so completely turned off by you that I have within me the wherewithal to decide you're completely capable of being absolutely ruinous to your own life. You want me to believe that this man ruined your life, but you're only proving to me that you're capable of it. Don't be effete with me, sir.
Well, let me explain, and I trust you, being a good judge, to judge on the facts of the case, okay? Let's see. When you stay at a hotel and you leave something, it is not proper, and I've done my research on this, for the hotel to then call and talk to anyone and give up information about what you've left behind. They ask for you and only you. And what the plaintiff could have done is the defendant could have done is he could have easily just left a message. Now, he also said that I've come there many times. He's also said that he knows this. And so he put himself there by saying, oh, he knows what's going on. He says I've been there with many women. So he knew that perhaps what was going on was going on. So you think the last thing he would do is get on the phone with the women and say, ooh, and that just goes to his being vindictive and having an agenda here. And to have my wife in and not just say like, oh, just tell him I have something for him. But he did not do that. He explained, and by the way, they met again for coffee later. So there's something going on there between them. It's not just, oh, she found out on her own. Let me also say why it's relevant, my past, is because I have been careful. If this man hadn't gotten in the middle of things purposefully, things would be going fine. And look, you can question the marriage and all that stuff, but my wife had never confronted me about an affair before. She had never kicked me out of the house before. She was happy living in our beautiful house with our wonderful 7-year-old kids. Everything was fine. Was I guilty of infidelity? Yes. But that shouldn't blow up her life, my life, our kids' life. And it all happened because this man meddled where he shouldn't have. He had no reason also, I should say, to go into my...
Okay, Mr. Conway, I think you've laid it out quite well. Why didn't you hold the bag? until he came back? And why didn't you only relay the contents of the bag that the bag was left to him? Mr. Bailey, Mr. Conway said something that I thought was plausible. You know, once he got over himself, he did actually strike some important tones there. Here's what he said. It is commonly the practice that when you leave something at a hotel, that they contact you to tell you that it's been left there, and they only normally talk to you because you are the owner of what's been left. He also said something else that I thought was pretty interesting, Mr. Bailey. Since you yourself said he's been there a bunch of times, he's there all the time, you know him, why didn't you keep the bag until he was back? If you know him, this is not some stranger leaving the bag. Why go through the hassle, let's call it that, of doing all the calling? Why not keep the bag until he comes back, since you knew he would be back?
Your Honor, you bring up some great points.
I see Mr. Conway did it.
Okay, I certainly did not want to lose Mr. Conway as a customer. Like I said, he is one of our most loyal customers, a frequent flyer, if you will. I didn't want to lose that.
That's called
revenue stream.
That's called white people shade. That was good. That was good. That was good. Keep going.
So I didn't want to lose him as a customer. I had no ill will towards him. Actually, I make no in the business I'm in, Your Honor. I make no judgments. Okay. Unless somebody is.
But speak to the point, sir. Speak to the points. And the point is this: why didn't you hold the bag until he came back? And why didn't you only relay the contents of the bag that the bag was left to him?
Okay, two questions. Number one, the bag had medication in it. I did not look at the medication, but I assumed it could be medication that potentially was life-threatening if he did not take it. That's why I felt compelled on humanitarian basis to call the number that he left on the contact sheet, which I assumed, Your Honor, was his cell phone, not his home phone, and I would have reached him directly.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, okay. Miss Elizabeth, anything else you want to add to this?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I would. First and foremost, I met Mr. Bailey at the hotel to pick up the kit, to pick up the DOP kit, the toiletries bag. There was medication in it. It was my husband's happy blue pills, shall we say.
Also known as what? Viagra? Is that what you're talking about?
I did try to Viagra, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, got it. Just want to be clear.
I did actually try to get information from Mr. Bailey at that time. He was actually not forthcoming. At the time, he did not disclose that my husband had been there many times with another woman. That did not come up. It was not until I contacted Mr. Bailey a day later after speaking to my lawyer that I asked Mr. Bailey if we might sit and have a cup of coffee. And I basically let Mr. Bailey know that he could either share what information he could with me, or I would have my lawyer send him a deposition request.
Yeah. Well, listen, and he decided what most sane people do, that they'd rather have coffee than be deposed. I think anybody with any sense would make that decision. I'd much rather have coffee with somebody than be deposed under oath. And everybody on this courtroom today is grown. We all grown. I got a grown man, another grown man, and a grown woman. And we're acting like kids, and it's starting to irk me. Mr. Conway, you know, sir, let me just say one or two things to you, because I need to make a decision here. And again, you're absolutely right. You said this a couple of times, and you're right. I'm not here to rule on your marriage. I'm not here to rule on whether or not you should have a wife and a girlfriend. I'm not here to rule on whether or not, you are seedy. I'm not here to rule on that. What you've asked me to rule on is whether or not Mr. Bailey ruined your 20-year marriage. That's what you asked. You've asked me to decide whether or not Mr. Bailey is responsible for ruining your 20-year marriage. So I can't make that decision and not consider the marriage. How can I rule on a marriage that I don't consider? That doesn't make sense. So I have to consider what's going on here. How is it even possible that a phone call could ruin somebody's marriage? How is the marriage in such a state that one coffee could get rid of it? Except that the marriage was already in trouble, except that one of the people in the marriage was already ruining it. Not Mr. Bailey ruining this marriage. It's what you're doing that's putting the marriage at risk and at jeopardy. Now, let me say this, Mr. Conway, to your defense, because I know you want to jump in, and let me assure you I'm not going to let you. Mr. Bailey does sound a little extra interested in all of this, sir. I don't know how many of your other patrons, you get this invested in knowing their goings and comings and callings about. You have covered yourself with the medication and saying it was about the medication. I think I believe that, but I know human beings. I know how people are. We're voyeurs. We like to look. We like to snoop. We like to find out. And of course, Mr. Conway was epic in things to be found out. So, I'm sure there was a little thrill to it. I might be imposing my thoughts on this, but they're my thoughts in my courtroom, so I get to do that. But I in no way think, Mr. Bailey, that you're responsible for the collapse of this marriage. I in no way think that. And nothing that I've heard today convinces me in any way, shape, or form that you ruined this marriage. I don't. I don't believe that you found out what the home number was, because the woman that lives in the house said that the number's not listed. There would have been no way for you to find out the home number. How would you have found it out? How would you have gotten the number? Mrs. Conway stated in this courtroom that number's not listed. So somebody had to have given you the number. Mrs. Conway, did you give Mr. Bailey your home number?
Did I give Mr. Bailey my home number? No. I mean.
No, that's all I need.
No,
that's all I need, ma'am. That's all I need. No, Ms. Conway didn't give him the number. You put the wrong number down on the contact sheet. That's what happened, Mr. Conway. He called the number he had, and you put the wrong number down. You weren't careful. I mentioned this earlier, and you tried to come up, you tried to run up one side of my mountain and come down the other. The fact of the matter is, you were not careful. And what you weren't careful on is being deceitful, which is probably something to say, that you're not good at being deceitful. That might not be a bad thing. My advice to you, look, normally people come in my courtroom, I have young people in here, and they're young and they're making mistakes and suing each other. And everybody on this courtroom today is grown. We all grown. I got a grown man, another grown man, and a grown woman. And we're acting like kids, and it's starting to irk me. I'm irked that I even have to have this conversation with y'all. 3 grown people acting like children. I've had 20-year-olds in this courtroom who act more responsible than this. You suing a man because you left your bag of Viagra at the hotel, cheating on somebody needing Viagra. You should be ashamed of that. Running around blaming him for what you're doing. No, I'm done. Because this ain't even gonna go well if I keep going. Not only are you not getting $5,000 for this man ruining your marriage, you better be glad I don't make you pay him something for coming to court and taking up my time with this. This man didn't ruin your marriage. You did that all by yourself. And if you keep going, if you keep doing this, it won't just be your marriage that you ruin. You'll ruin the rest of your life. Try to be better, Mr. Conway. I'm not sure you're listening, but I wish you would. That's my judgment.
Well, as maybe you can see, things aren't going exactly great for me. I lost everything. My nightclub, my family, my Corvette, all my money, obviously.
It was fascinating. It was interesting. I was shocked that Mr. Conway actually sued me. I was required to attend court. So it was a day in my life that I'll never get back.